Alright, 2002, this is a Mercury Mountaineer. Same thing as the Explorers. I think it's 02 to maybe 05 or 06. But it has a problem with this box here, which is your blend door actuator for your heat to cold air. And when they go out, you turn your heat on and it just clicks. No heat comes out because the door's not opening. So, easiest thing I found out to do was you got to pull your bezel off for your radio. You see that? We're going to dismantle that, pull that down. And then you need to pull off your bezel for your gauges. It's all one piece. This piece is separate here. It just pops out with two little clips. Just pop it off. There's a couple screws. I believe they were, let's see here, they were 932s. There's a few of them. You'll have one here. You have another one that goes in this hole for right here. But when you undo those, you'll undo another one from here, and you got one more that's going to be back behind this piece from your bezel. There's another one. You can just pop all those off. You're going to want to cut it in the middle here. Be careful that you don't break it like I did. I snapped it right there, but it's okay. It's going to be covered up with your plate. Once you put it back on through the bottom, you won't even see that. So, yeah, you'll cut it there. And then you're going to make another cut. You actually make two more cuts. You'll cut it here. Connects right here, these two pieces. You just cut that. And then, you can see right there, you can see where I took a saw, just a blade, and just hand cut it right through both pieces. It's all covered up. You'll never see it once it's all put back together. But it's the easiest way. It took me probably about 10 to 15 minutes to actually dismantle it and to get that piece out. And it's located up underneath here. You'll need an 8mm socket. Preferably, you want to use a 1/4 inch ratchet and socket with an extension that I got here. And I used a swivel to get to this back one here because this metal plate bar's in the way. So I put a swivel on it and I was able to get it. So there's that one. There's another one right there. And then you'll have a third one right up there. You replace those. Actually, I got one right there. And you put it back together and no more clicking. And you just put it all back. And see right now, let's see, what do we, oil gauge is warm. It's still cold, so I can't even tell. The heat is working. Hasn't been running that long. But we have heat again. No more cold air blowing out, so that'll solve your problem. And let's put it back together real quick so you can see that none of the marks are coming out. What we'll do, get back up underneath here. We can shut this off for now since we know it's working. Let's see here, okay. So you got this one. I put them all in by finger until you can't squeeze it no more. And at this point, you don't need your swivel. Just a nice long extension will work. And it's a good long extension. It's going to take a second to do that because they don't give you no room to work with it. If you choose, we're actually going to add another extension onto it to make it about 1 foot long. Make it a little bit easier. Get it up over that bezel. Oh yeah, much better now. You don't get much room to turn from it, but it beats. They say you had to pull back the whole entire dash to actually do it, and we're not down for pulling dashboards out around here. It makes it a little too hard and difficult. I'm going to set this down for a second and get this bolt started. break any more stuff, right? In here. Oh, that's no good. Snap that one right off. Cold plastic is not a very good way to do stuff. It's a good way to break things. So you have to be very careful when it's cold out. Like me, I just broke my bezel underneath the dash, but it's alright. Alright, we're gonna put the swivel back on it again to get to this one. It's gonna make it that much easier. Why am I... Oh yeah, can't get this thing up in here now. Cold, fingers are cold. Alright, what socket we got? 8 millimeter. It's not fitting. I really got the right bolt in there. See. Just getting the bolts in. Alright, so we got that all back together. The bolts are in it. So now let's put the dash back together. This is the fun part. Everything should snap right back into place like it was. Let's see here. Just gonna push this piece up. I'm gonna push this one up. That should get it back in these holes. Move this piece back up into its spot. Let's see. Alright. There's a little bit better conclusion on where it was cut at. You see on this side, and you cut straight across through it. Right there. That's how you're going to take it apart. And just make sure you push it right back up, because it ain't going nowhere. Everything's still bolted into its spot still. Now let's push this bezel back in. Make sure they clip right back in the clip there. And we got some more clip on this side. Clip it back. Clip down both these pieces here. See, everything just clipped right back into its spot. Can't even tell it was pulled apart. So that's a good sign right there that you cut it right. Alright. Now, this is the fun part. broke mine. And you got bolts. These are your bolts. Right here. There. And you got the one that's gonna go in there. And we got this one. Oh, you know what? What I didn't forget. There's a bar. This big old bar here. It's going to go right in here. There's a couple bolts. Let's see, let's get this out the way. You see down there? Way down in there. There's two bolts. We can see them. Where'd they go? Can't really see because of the light. But there you go. Right here. There's two studs sticking out. That plate's going to slide right back on top of those studs. Just like that. It's right back into place. And there's two nuts. Alright, let's see here. Right there. There's the two nuts for it. And pull back this piece. Don't pull too hard on the side plastic to your center console, so you don't want to break it. That one on there. Let's get this other one. Get on there. Those are going to be 10 millimeters. And I used a 3/8 drive. And it's got a deep well for the bottom ones. Top one, you can just use a shallow socket. Just tighten them back on. Alright, and then there's these bolts here. Same size, just a bolt. And it's going to go right back up here. You see the little plates for them. Line it back up. And just going to slide them in there, tighten them down. Got it fingered in there. We're going to get the second one because there's two on the top and two on the bottom. This job does not take very long once you have everything you need out. It took me a little bit longer. It's the first time I did this one. I watched a few different videos on it online. One was the most helpful about cutting the dash apart, but I think he cut it in a couple different spots. But it's alright. Get our socket back up on here, make sure we're going the right way. We want to make sure we're tightening them. And there's a bunch of wires, you're going to have to stick it up like that. Make sure it's nice and tight on there so it ain't rattling. You don't want to hear no noises, right? You only get about not even a quarter turn. You probably get about an eighth turn out of each one, unless you're going to use a bigger extension. But there we go. Now we're on there. Alright, nice and tight on that one. You want to hit the second one down on the bottom. So this whole thing might have taken me half hour the most. I think it took longer to find the part at the junkyard. Alright, we got that one on there, right? Alright, so those two are on there. I'm just gonna... Oh, sorry about that. Whew. I had a spasm on my thumb. It's cold out. Locked up being in the same spot. Ooh. Alright, then we're going to switch it over. Use the other socket. Alright, we got 10 millimeter. Alright. The same socket as I used for the bottom ones. Just to get this done. Just make sure they're tight so You don't hear the plate rattling around or from the vibrations or anything. We don't like that. Probably annoy the wife pretty good. Alright, so those are back on there. Alright. So now we can just finish assembling everything back up. Alright. And then you got this one. It's that one that's up in the top there. That hole right here. The hole right up in there. You have to put one in there. That holds that piece back to your dash. It's gonna be the same size. They're all the same size dash pieces. Set this down for next time. Start this bolt in there. Find that hole. Alright, that's in there. Alright, see right there, that's that bolt you gotta put back in. And like I said, that one, I use this ratchet here, 1/4 inch ratchet with a 3/8 extension with a 932 socket on it. I'll tighten this up real fast. I'll start showing you the rest of them. That's going to put your dash back together for you. Nice and snug on that too. You don't want it coming out and your dash falling down on you. Alright, so there's that piece is back on there now. There's another bolt, same kind of bolt, screw, whatever you want to call it. It's going to go in here. Right there. Just gotta tighten it up real fast. That one's nice and tight now. And then we're gonna move on and finish putting the dash back together. Alright, so that one's back on there. Let's get back underneath here. Like I said, there was a bolt here, and there's one over here that I took out, a screw. We're going to put both those back in now. Let's start that one. And you see I broke my piece right here. The piece just broke on me because it's so cold out. So, technically, there's no need for me to put that piece back on. It's not like my dash moves or anything, so and you'll never see it anyways once I put the plate back in it. We're going to go ahead and tighten this one back up. Alright, so there's that. And then we got a bolt screw that's going to go in here. And I got one that goes in here. My piece was already broken when I pulled it apart. It just kind of fell off. At least we'll stick this one back in. It'll hold the front portion of your dash back on there by this side, the driver's side door. Yeah, we'll tighten that one down. Nice and snug there. We don't want to break the plastic up. You kind of see mine's a little cracked there. I just kind of broke it off from being cracked. But don't do it too tight. We don't want to crack it. I mean, it's on there though. It ain't going nowhere. And we're going to stick another screw right back into this hole here, just so it kind of holds that piece down on the top of it for me, so it's not wiggling around. One less thing the wife can say, you know, the dash is wiggling. Well, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's going to fall off on you or anything, but we'll snug it on there. No more really good wiggle. So that's those two pieces there. Alright, we got all that back on there. Now, let's take our face plate. We're going to stick it right back up on here. And that just pops right off. Just stick a little screwdriver back up in here. And just, lightly pry off the top two corners. And you'll be able to just wiggle it back off. It's just a little clipped in. It's all back together. Can't even tell. There's no cut marks. Everything's hidden underneath here and in here, so nothing's seen. I must have broke that clip off that one there. Don't want to stay down all the way, but that's okay. It's just a clip. I can get a new piece, one of those from the junkyard. That's nothing. Light switch comes back on and works. Dash is all in there. Then you got two up here. You got one here. You got another one right there. All right, right here, right there are the two. It's all the same size still. You're just gonna find the hole in it and start them with your fingers. Make the easiest way to do it, eh? And same thing on this side. Get back in here, that hole. Just start with your finger. And take your. You just do it like this. Then you gotta be, some people snug them all down with the ratchet, but necessarily, you don't have to. They ain't gonna fall out on you as long as their hand's snugged in there. Alright, that one's in. Same thing on this one. Ford doesn't really give you much opportunity to work on things right. So, alright, and those are in. Everything's back together. Nothing's moving around on me. You can't even tell it was cut. The new piece is in. And then let's turn it on. I've already started it once, had it warmed up. But we're on heat now. There's no click-ins. I can switch it back over. There's nothing. We turn it right back to heat again. No clicking, so that's good. That means it's working. The heat was coming out earlier, so that is a good sign. And then this piece is here. You gotta, pull this screw out here when you're doing it. You're gonna push it back into its spot. It has like a little clip on it. I'm gonna set it down for a second. Get this up in here. Pop this piece up. Easiest thing, we're going to remove this. See here, I took this little piece out here. We took that out. Alright, so we can, let's not break anything when we're doing it, right?